This is Peter Zalewski. I'm a condo consultant, an expert witness. I'm also the founder of the Miami Condo Investing Club. I'm out condo shopping for Black Friday. I spent Friday on Brickell Avenue area. Now, Saturday, I'm over in the Central Business District, next up Flagler Street. So there was a story that came out this week that I thought would be interesting for everybody to sort of factor in as you're looking at the overall marketplace. I have kind of a rule that I tell people when you get into construction is you should plan on it taking 3 times as long and costing twice as much. Whatever your estimate is, 3 times longer and twice as much of whatever they tell you. Why? Stuff comes up along the way, especially if you're doing rehab or anything like that. So, as a general rule, 3 times as long, twice as much. Why do I bring that up? Because I'm on Flagler Street. Every 10 to 15 years, the city of Miami redevelops Flagler Street, and inevitably, it's supposed to bring back more business. There's a developer called Moishimana or Moishmana, however you want to refer to it. He recently did a podcast with the South Florida Business Journal, and in it, he was bitching and moaning that it's taken way too long on the construction. And coincidentally, a story's just come out talking about Flagler Street redevelopment. And I'm going to walk the Flagler Street redevelopment. I'm going to show you what's been accomplished in 4.5 years. This is a project that was supposed to take a grand total of 4 years and was supposed to cost $13 million. Now they're saying their best guesstimate is it won't be done till June of 2026. Started in May of 2021. And the cost originally, 13 million. Cost today, 33 million. 33 million. This might be one of the rare cases when you see the cost triple and the time maybe double or so. But anyways, it's a 5 block long stretch. That's it. We're not talking about a lot. What they basically did is they removed the curbs and they made it all flat surface so they could turn it into a place for festivals, farmers markets, kind of, any little event that goes on in Miami over the course of the winter buying season, which we're in right now. Winter buying season goes from November through April. This is the time when people are out shopping for condos. Many of them, they end up closing sometime, typically in the summer, which will go from May until October or so. So coming into this winter buying season, we're coming out of the summer period, and this was the worst summer since 2008. If you don't remember 2008, that's when Lehman Brothers failed. That is when the Great Recession began symbolically with the Lehman failure. A South Florida condo market had already started to unwind in 2007. Ultimately, the sales in South Florida for condos, they bottomed out in 2008. And then the prices, much like a horse and carriage or like a locomotive and a caboose, prices didn't bottom till 2010. I don't know where we're at right now. I don't know if we're at a bottom. Maybe as we look back, this summer could have been the bottom. We're not going to know until another year or two. But basically, it's a soft market out there. Way too much supply, not enough transactions, but pricing still holding firm, and in some circumstances going up on average. Why is it going up? Because the units that are trading are high price units, and they tend to be discounted high price units. So it's like good quality. Good quality. If you can get a discount, that'll get you off the couch and get you purchasing a unit. All the other stuff, though, is pretty much dead in the water. When we were looking at the numbers and we reported it out, we're doing a 3-part series. Part 3 comes out on Sunday, where we're evaluating where we are in this cycle compared to where we were back in the great South Florida condo boom and bust of 2002 to 2011. And statistics look like we're in 2007. And AI actually confirmed it based on our numbers. I do a podcast with my partner, Jenny Wertis from CDR Realty. She said it felt like 2007. I ran some numbers, and sure enough, it was that. But let me go ahead and I'm going to walk the 5 blocks. And should you care, you'll be able to get a good glimpse of what's going on. I'm going to show you what 4.5 years of work has basically accomplished. And let me tell you, you're going to be underwhelmed. And remember, price tag started at $13 million when they broke ground in May of 2021. This is a district that's governed by a taxing district called the Miami Downtown Development Authority. Their role is to try to promote development in downtown Miami. They were actually the precursor to what would ultimately become Greater Downtown Miami. Greater Downtown Miami is a term that we coined simply because of DDA, Miami Downtown Development Authority. They go by the name the DDA. The DDA was set up basically to try to bring redevelopment to downtown Miami. It was really a sketchy place, a shithole to be to be quite blunt. And we looked at it and we said, well, based on how they're taxing people, it was a gerrymandered line. So we came up with boundaries that were based on physical limitations or obstacles. So we've gone ahead, we created the Greater Downtown Miami moniker. It's now caught on, it's everywhere. We have the URL for it. That's how early we were to doing it. But the DDA, they're using our money to try to create redevelopment. So Flagler Street is an example of where all your tax dollars are going. You live in a condo, if you have a business within their jurisdiction, you're basically paying a CERT tax, and this is what the money's going to be used for. So just to remind you, as we start walking, it might get a little bit loud. There's a little bit of a tunnel effect with wind, but I'll remind you, it was supposed to take 4 years maximum, began in May of 2021. So that would have taken us out to, I guess, 2026 potentially, or so. I'm not sure if they're going to actually get it done, but the cost was supposed to be 13 million. Now it's 33 million. So I'm sure somebody's brother-in-law or sister-in-law has gotten the contract and is making a bundle. A piece came out, which is basically what prompted me to do this video. A piece came out, and there are some small businesses here that have been working or trying to sell product during the course of this reconstruction. Some of them are saying their sales are down 65%. People can't get there because there's no parking because the streets are torn up. And as you wander around, everything is vacant. Because everything's vacant, there's no foot traffic. With no foot traffic, that means how are you going to sell product? The only way you sell it is either online or you're able to troll and catch somebody who might be walking by. So, that being said, let's go ahead and walk the 5 block renovation of Wagner Street with a grand total of a $33 million for 5 blocks, $33 million redevelopment. So, I'll try to talk. You may or may not be able to hear me again because of the wind tunnel. So let me go ahead and change the view, and you'll be able to see everything that's there. At times, I'll maybe step to the side if it sounds too loud, and I'll fill in little stuff. But we're going to be going from east to west. We're on Flagler Street. This is effectively where the meridian is in terms of directional in Miami. We're going to get down to Miami Avenue. That will be the cross one. So as I'm walking down the street, I want you to keep in mind on my right will be north, on my left will be south. On my right will be way to go to Aventura, the Wynwood, to Miami Beach. On my left is going to be how you get to Little Havana, Brickell, Coral Gables, Coconut Grove. And I'm walking due west, so I'm walking towards the airport. I'm starting by the bay, and I'm walking towards the airport. So let's go ahead and reverse this, and you guys can get a good glimpse of what 33 million bucks will get you in 4.5 years and counting. See, there's So this is Flagler Street. This is one of the remnants of before you walk through this area. It's like a little bazaar in here. There's all kinds of little shops. You can kind of make it out. Up there will be a Marshalls. See some of the new restaurants that have tried to pop up. A lot of these shops here, they used to target primarily visitors in Latin America who would come here. When I first got here in the early 90s, there were a lot of green and yellow signs. Why Brazilians? Whenever you see a green and yellow sign, it means Brazilians. Before the big box retail really took off, people would come to downtown Miami. This is where they would buy their stuff to be staying at hotels. We've since had a bunch of changes. We had Dolphin Mall be created just west of Miami International Airport. You have here you go, a little tourist place. You get a glimpse. These people are okay because you're still within the decent traffic. Oh, there we go. There is a yellow and green sign. That's a sign to the Brazilians. Come on in, let's do a deal. Brazilian flag is green and yellow. But you can see all the roll down bars, if you will, the security on all of this. This is the primary main street of Miami. And again, you can check out the streetscape. Yeah, they did a good job, I guess, but for 33 million, I'm not necessarily sure if it's worth it. There's one of the original buildings. You can see in the distance, that's going to be a building called Everglades, or excuse me, Biscayne. It used to be called Everglades when the building went BK, was sold off to a private equity group who turned it into a project called Biscayne. That building's about 12 to 14 years old. Not looking very good. Right in the distance, you'll see a crane, a yellow crane, excuse me, a red crane. That crane is going to be the Waldorf Astoria. Then over here, we're going to have the Loft 2 building, and then in the distance will be the Elser. Right north of the Elser is going to be where Trump's presidential library is supposed to go. This is supposed to be this was the Epoch building. It was also the Walgreens. It has an atrium on the inside. A group has purchased it, they renovated it, and they made it a large food court. I'm told 3 tacos will cost you about $14. So for whatever that's worth. Here we go. We get a little glimpse here of this food hall. Let me see if I can zoom in. You see the people chowing down. There we go. There's our little glimpse of the food hall. Here's some of the locations you can check out. So developers purchased about 80 properties here, according to that podcast. A guy called Moshe Mana. He's from Tel Aviv. He's kind of he was involved with the meatpacking district. He also was involved with building stuff in New Jersey, and now he's trying to also do it down here in Miami. He's acquired most of these properties, so if they're vacant and dormant, that's because Moshe probably has them for the most part. This is the hot building you can see from the cornerstone and the signage. Originally Florida National Bank and Trust back in the day. In the distance, you'll see some cranes. That's the World Center, Miami World Center area. It's an area that at one point was effectively all homeless, and you had something called the Camille's House, and now it's turned into a real center for people who are looking for a new product. If any of you have heard of a guy called Adam Newman, he's the one from WeWork, ran it into the ground, became a billionaire. He's now become a condo converter. He's buying stuff, and he's also going to try to build. He's buying rental towers and trying to turn them into condos. So it's a nice little glimpse up the road. If we were to continue on this way, over that bridge in the distance would be Brickell Avenue, and the Miami River's in between. Building in front of us, where we kind of have this scaffolding of sorts. This is going to be the Gusman Theater. Um, this is the Olympia Theater. It has a variety of different names. It's just recently been acquired by Pitbull. Pitbull, the musician, Mr. 305. He's now in the education business. So he bought this building and he's turning it into a school. He's got another one over by Miami Marlins ballpark. Here's a good glimpse of the Olympia. So this is the goal for what they want to do with this Flagler Street redevelopment. Remember, for 33 million. Again, the big deal is the streetscape. Check out how it's all flush. There's no curbs. I guess that's worth 33 million. You look at a distance, you're going to see the Miami Fountain, and then right across from that will be the Port of Miami. So, oh, we got our little Christmas tree up and operational. Looks like they're doing a little bit of a farmer's market